Welcome to the Nurse Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Guarnieri from the Resume RX, and this is the podcast that's dedicated to empowering and encouraging nurses along your path of professional and self-discovery. As a nurse practitioner, mom, and business owner, I'm on a mission to help you figure out how to leave your lasting impact on the world, all while bravely and fearlessly growing along the way. Join me for honest conversations and inspiring stories about personal and professional growth, all through the lens of nursing. Hey friend, before we get into this episode, if you are an NP or an NP student, I have a very exciting invitation for you. I am hosting a totally free virtual event, and I will be teaching you how to love your NP career without burning out. We will be uncovering how to transform from overworked imposter to confident NP without sacrificing work-life balance. This is a free live event on Sunday, January 30th, 2022 at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I cannot wait to see you there. Again, the event is called How to Love Your NP Career Without Burning Out, and it will be live on Sunday, January 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Snag your free spot by heading to thenpsociety.com or clicking the link in the show notes. Again, that's thenpsociety.com, and I hope to see you on Sunday, January 30th at this fun free event. Hello. Welcome back to the Nurse Becoming podcast. It's Amanda, your host. As always, super excited for you to have tuned into today's episode where we will be talking about professional portfolios. And let's dive right in. I get questions frequently about how to be a more competitive applicant and how to stand out in interviews and when networking and meeting others. And I'm sure that this has been a thought of yours as well, whether you're currently in the job search phase or still a student and thinking ahead to that, or even if you're already working and considering your next professional move. We all want to be competitive, right? We all want to stand out and make sure that we are putting our best selves forward. So today I'm going to share a super easy way to really be viewed as someone who is not only on top of their game, but also a confident and competitive applicant. And spoiler alert, the answer is in the title of this episode. The answer is to bring with you a professional portfolio. Okay, bring it with you to your interviews, bring it with you to networking events. And yes, I am talking about a physical product that you hold in your hands that has all of your achievements in one place. Now, you likely already have a resume. You know what a resume is. And a resume is a document that tells others about your experience, either why they should hire you or consider you for the role. But a portfolio is something that you can show others, that shows them about your experience. Okay, it can be really powerful, this difference between telling someone and showing someone. It means you can provide the evidence, you can provide the proof or the receipts, so to speak. Okay, and the good news is this is something that you really only need to make once, and then you carry it with you into interviews, but take it home with you as opposed to leaving it for the interviewers. Okay, so this is something that's going to be kind of like your master portfolio. All right, I'm not talking about making copies of things and bringing them in a folder and leaving them with your interviewers. I'm talking about having one place that's really your master portfolio that you then take with you and keep updated, but take with you and then take home with you. Okay, you're not going to give this to anybody. You certainly could make smaller presentation portfolios to leave at interviews, but in that case, I would trim down what you would include in them and really be a little bit more prudent about the things that you're including. For example, you're not going to include a copy of your license necessarily in something that you're just bringing to an interview. You're not going to leave it with them, but you are going to have a copy in your master portfolio. This is something that's also really helpful when it comes to the hiring and credentialing process, because you'll have all the papers, all the dates, all the information needed in one place, so that even if you are already hired or they're extending an offer and you need to go back into an office to do hiring paperwork or any sort of onboarding stuff, you're going to have everything like nice and organized and in one place, which is going to make things go nice and smooth and really make life easier for you and for whoever your hiring representative is. So let's go over the categories of things that you can include in this professional portfolio and how to put it together. Okay, so first of all, supplies that you are going to need. You will need a 3-ring binder. You will need some numbered divider tabs. I think all you really need is the numbers 1 through 10. But I do know that tabs come, I think, up to the smaller ones. You can actually have packets of 30 numbered divider tabs, but I think 1 through 10 is totally fine. You're going to want some sheet protectors. Those are the little plastic pockets that are already 3-hole punched that you can put a single or 2 papers in. And bonus, something else that will make this a lot easier for you is my newest digital product, the Professional Portfolio Toolkit. You know that whenever I see people having a problem with something or really trying to figure out what to do, I am going to help you with a solution, and that is available at theresumérx.com/portfolio. I'm going to give you pretty much everything you need in this episode to do it yourself, to create it yourself, but certainly if you want to save time, this is going to be something that really helps you. Okay. So the first thing that you will do is determine the contents of your portfolio. So you want to determine what sections you're going to have. So some general sections that you may want to include would be your resume or CV, a statement of philosophy, degrees, licenses, and certifications, a procedure or competency log, professional advocacy and affiliations, recognition, honors and awards, nominations and recommendations, presentations and publications, evaluations, and non-medical interests and achievements. That's 10 categories. You may not have something for every category at this point in your career, which is fine. But even if you just have 1 or 2 things, I think that it's worth creating a section for it, because chances are you'll have more in your career. But certainly feel free to edit this as you see fit and have it reflect your individual professional journey. After you've decided on your sections, you'll want to create a table of contents, as well as kind of like subtitle pages for each sections with the individual things listed beneath, if applicable. So for example, you'll have a table of contents that'll list out all the categories, all the sections of your portfolio with the numbers, so that people can just look at the table of contents, see that something is in section number 4, and then use the numbered tabs to go to that section. And let's say section number 4 is your degrees, licensure, and certifications. And let's say you have multiple of those, as many of us do, especially if you're a nurse practitioner. You might have multiple degrees, you might have multiple certifications, you'll definitely have multiple licenses, because in most states you're going to have at least an RN and an NP license. So on your little subtitle page for section 4, so when you turn to section 4, you're going to have another little title page, which at the top will say degrees, licensure, and certifications, and then we'll have some bullets underneath that list out everything that's in that section. So then someone can at a glance see, all right, I'm in the right section. This is where I can find Amanda's New York APRN license, just as an example. Okay. So after you have created all these pages, and yes, this is what I created for you in the Professional Portfolio Toolkit. It's a template essentially of the table of contents in the sections. Once you're done with it, you want to print out your contents pages, put those in sheet protectors, and arrange them in the binder behind the numbered tabs. And then you'll want to start arranging the actual receipts or proof that you're going to include in each section. I think it's nice to put them each in a sheet protector as well and arrange according to your sections. And that's pretty much it. You might decide to use some pocket 3-punched folders if that feels better to you. But I think that the sheet protectors kind of have this nice cohesive look to it. And you can even get tabs. You can even get the numbered tabs that are wide so that they stick out beyond the sheet protectors. That's a kind of small detail, but just figured I'd throw it in there. So this is pretty easy, right? And if you want this to be even easier and save some time with the creation of the actual document with the table of contents and all the sections, you can get a full tutorial and template for your contents pages at theresumérx.com/portfolio. So that includes a Google Doc with all the table of contents and the content dividing pages, as well as a video tutorial of me putting everything together. I have links to all the different tabs and binders and sheet protectors that you may need so that you can get this done. I think this is a fun project. Maybe it's just fun to me because I like to organize things, and that putting together a beautiful presentation binder is like one of my favorite activities ever. I hope I'm not alone. Please raise your hand in solidarity if you are there with me. But beyond it being fun, okay, even if it's not fun, I won't hold it against you, but it is worth the bit of time it will take you to put this together, because it will be a really nice way to show your interviewers or whoever you're connecting with more detail and evidence of why you are awesome. Right? You already know you're awesome, and you can go into an interview and you can say, hey, please hire me. I'm awesome. Or you can go in an interview and say, hey, please hire me. I'm awesome. And here's all the proof, right? Like that's just such another level. And not to mention the fact that you have shown up prepared with this portfolio, right? You've thought in advance about this moment. Will really speak to your level of commitment and preparation for the interview itself. Okay, so good luck. Go make your portfolio. Tag me on Instagram. I want to see it. theresumérx.com/portfolio if you need the easy button for all that. But I hope you enjoyed this episode today. It was a little bit more instructional as opposed to some kind of theory topics that I talk about in other episodes. So let me know if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'd love to see your portfolio. Tag me at theresumérx on Instagram. And otherwise, you'll hear from me next week. Bye. Well, that does it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making it all the way to the end. If you found today's episode helpful, would you take a minute and give me a rating or review on Apple Podcasts? It will truly help other nurses find this show and know that it's worth listening to. For more information about this episode, as well as a place to submit your questions or suggestions for future episodes or guests, head to nursebecoming.com. I cannot wait to connect with you again soon. And until next time, remember, I am always rooting for you.